Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for joining me on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, visualization of novels, and many more cool things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, first and foremost, a huge, enormous, gigantic thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who really and truly make this podcast possible. Without your continuous monthly donations, I would not be able to continue making I'm Gaming Podcast, so a big thanks to all of you. Everyone else, please check out my supporters in the description below. Now, like I said or hinted in the opening part, this is going to be an episode about my latest novel called The Sons of 901 and my continuing marketing or promotional efforts that now have begun to include an AI image creator. Now, first of all, let me give you a little bit of background story about the said novel, which is called The Sons of 901, and it's an alternate history sci-fi tech thriller with some superhero elements that I published this summer. I'm thinking July, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a pretty short novel, probably a novella. And it's something I'm pretty happy with, and that has been received well by the people who read it so far. Not a huge amount of people, of course, but so far so good. And I'm also pretty happy with the way it turned out. Of course, like every book on Amazon, if you're self-publishing it, it's going to struggle to find its audience, to find a way to reach people, and for people to kind of get interesting to read it and to simply check it out on any level. There are too many books by too many authors, we're all publishing like crazy, and it's easy to kind of get lost in the noise. That is why I began a small campaign, let's call it like that, on X, on my X Twitter feed, where I basically use parts of my novel as they are written, so they are basically a paragraph or shorter, 2 or 3 sentences, that I then feed into the AI image creator from Microsoft Copilot, which is part of the Bing ecosystem, let's call it like that. And through that image creator, I allow the same AI to build images. In part, those are interesting to me because they literally visualize the process of creating these images in my mind, but in a completely different manner. Of course, these images are by no means a part of the novel. Novel is a simple standalone textual, let's call it like that, space. But still, it's pretty interesting to see how the AI, machine learning bots, kind of bring these ideas into images and then kind of try to make these images wholesome and interesting in some shape or form. So far I only generated 2 of these, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below that will take you to the same thread. It's basically pinned presently on my X feed, and I plan to add further images to it over the coming days and likely weeks. Basically in an effort to kind of entice people to check out The Sons of 901, and also as a part of my personal need to kind of see what this type of visualization can provide to me directly. Of course, like I said, the main effort is clearly marketing and promotion. I want to get the word out about the novel. So that's where you come in. If you'd like to help me with that, I would surely and dearly appreciate it if you could share the same thread or even check out the novel. The link to the novel is in the description below. It costs $3 or $2.99, so it's not exactly very expensive. Interestingly enough, I'm realizing that at the present moment the novels haven't gone up since I started publishing them. Basically they were $3 back then, which is 2015, I'm not mistaken, and my short books that are non-fiction, all of them are $3, and now 10 years later they're still $3, which is a lot less money than back in 2015. So yeah, they're even cheaper than when I started out. But that's the kind of idea of this AI visualization thread that I'm pushing on X. Likely in all likelihood, it's going to be like an image per day. I'm doubting that it's going to be more than that. And of course, I'm trying to do some curation and place just the things that kind of work in the context, in the setting that I'm looking for, not everything that AI generates, because a lot of it is just plain old bad or senseless or pointless. And I hope that it manages to entice people to check out the book. I hope I managed to do that the same thing for you as well through this podcast episode. And that's why I wanted to say thank you so much for listening. This was this episode. It's 2000 or 245 episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. We're still not at 2000. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like to support me, of course, please share that thread on X. Continue following it in the coming weeks and days and weeks. And of course, you can check out my other books on Amazon. You can check out my Patreon page, become a Patreon supporter. I would really and truly appreciate that. Of course, you can also simply subscribe to my channel and be here for my new videos, which is the easiest, fastest, and quickest way to support me right now. That's all for me. Thanks so much for being here. That was episode 245 of I'm Gaming Podcast. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you in precisely 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.